The former president's first criminal case is now just 11 days away from starting, or is it? Here's Alina Habba with a strange claim about that case.
Do you think that case is going to get underway on March 25th? And how does the former president feel about this one that is likely to happen before, right in the middle of the election season?
Yeah, it's a couple of good questions there. Number one, do I think it's going to go ahead? Well, really, it shouldn't. We have an immunity defense that's currently up on the Supreme Court. It's going to be made a decision. It should be stayed until all of those decisions are made, number one, and we'll see what happens there.
Well, I think I know what will happen there, because what the hell are you talking about, Alina Habba? And look, I get, if you watch that video and you don't know the major flaw with her argument there, I don't put that on you. We hear these claims of immunity being thrown around so casual these days that we just sort of accept, oh yeah, no, they'll claim that he's immune. But bump the brakes for just 1 second, because the absolute immunity claim is that he's reading into non-existent case law or DOJ guidelines or whatever, that because generally you can't pursue the president while he's president for civil matters, that now we're gonna expand that to criminal cases and anything he did while he was president that they can even tangentially link to his official duties as a president. So the idea is you can't, the special counsel cannot have this January 6th case because he was president during that. And everything that he did had something to do with his official duties. It didn't, but whatever, that's the claim that they're making. So that's the claim. I think it's crazy, I think it's baseless. I don't think the SCOTUS is going to uphold it. I don't think that the concept of absolute immunity fits at all. But even so, that's this thing here. He was president, the things he did as president. What the hell does that have to do with the hush money trial, Alina Habba? And that's not a rhetorical question, I'm serious. He wasn't president at that time. He did it in advance of the 2016 election. And I don't think that you can claim that even if you somehow think that he was president at that point, that paying off Stormy Daniels was related to his official duties as president. Neither of the even ridiculous, buffoonish claims that you make in pursuit of this absolute immunity apply in any way here. And honestly, I'm getting to be a little bit worried about Alina Habba, because when Joe Biden couldn't remember what year he was vice president, everybody lost their minds. She can't remember what year her client was the actual president. And it's kind of her job to do that. So anyway, that doesn't make any sense, except if you accept that the argument they're making for absolute immunity is not at the end of the day, the actual argument that they want to make. The actual argument that they appear to want to make is Donald Trump has absolute immunity. Period. Full stop. End of story. Not for while he was president, not for official duties, not for anything. Just he has immunity. He's the best. He's God. He's the emperor. He can do whatever he wants. That's the only way that you can interpret what she said and have it make any sense whatsoever. Because this is not anything having to do with what they previously talked about. The SCOTUS ruling is not going to bear on this. And you'll notice that the SCOTUS is not jumping out to stop these trials. Maybe there's a reason for that, Alina Habba. I don't know. Have you considered talking to another lawyer? I'm sure you're a notable figure. I'm sure they'd give you a little bit of advice, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. In any event, we'll see what happens with that, because at the end of the day, as important as I think the hush money case is, and I do think that this was a violation of campaign finance law, I do think that it was an attempt to spend money illicitly to hide the truth of who he was, mostly from his own voters. I do think that that's important, but that said, I don't think it's not a drop in the bucket compared to the illegality of what happened in pursuit of overturning the 2020 election. So like her argument is ridiculous. It makes her look like she doesn't understand literally the first thing about the law or their own defense, but I don't care as much about that as the January 6th thing. So we're still waiting. It's gonna be the better part of a month and a half until we have some clarity on absolute immunity in that case.